Hello and welcome to Mimo. On today's video we are going to talk about meditation for those people who think that they think too much, they think too fast, and because of that they are not made to do meditation. And actually it's a kind of a myth that you need to start meditation by thinking about nothing. Actually, for people who are not used of having pauses during their day, of taking a break, of thinking, of doing meditation and such, at the first moment you are not gonna be able to get to this point of completely silence on your mind. And that doesn't need to be the purpose, that doesn't need to be the goal when you're starting. In fact, you can just take a break. Take a break on your daily life to breathe, to connect to yourself, to visualize something that you want to achieve, to stay with your thoughts. For example, if you're used to a very busy mind where you hear 1, 2, 3 voices in your mind at the same time, as it had happened to me before, well, if you try to put your mind in silence and hold to it, it's like trying to get a wild monkey in a cage. It will scream and jump and try to run everywhere. So it's not gonna happen in an automatic way. It actually might take many years for a person to develop in meditation up to a point where he or she can get to a state of complete and peaceful silence of the mind. And now I want to share with you who is starting to do meditation or who was thinking that you're not made for it, but kind of want or have this intuition that you should try. Well, I'm gonna share with you 3 techniques that can help you to start to get this break. So on the first technique, you can just sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes and observe your thoughts. You don't need to be in a very special place. You can be seated on your bed or on your couch. It's just important that at least your head is loose so you can not sleep so fast, because if you try this on a laying down position you might get to sleeping very fast. So what I mean by observing your thoughts is not trying to think about nothing, but just noticing what thoughts come to your mind. A good metaphor for that is like when you sit on the edge of a busy road and you just see which cars are passing by. A red car, a blue car, a truck, a bus, and you just stay there and look at it. Well, for people that are more connected to nature, it can be also a metaphor when you look to the clouds and try to see what shape they form. That's also a nice way to connect and a nice metaphor for you to understand what is it to observe your thoughts. Just see what you're thinking about. And it's interesting if you try not to focus on one car that's passing by, or to try to detail too much one of the clouds, for example. Just allow them to pass by. Don't dive into the story of that thought. The second technique is when you can observe these thoughts and separate them in categories like stories, emotions, repetitions. Who doesn't have those thoughts that just come back and back and back and back and back and just become a repetition? And another example of category that I use is judgment. And for me it was really great to just, when I was observing my thoughts, to separate what were stories that were coming back to my mind, things that I had to do, and judgment about myself, judgment about others. And that helped me a lot on the daily life, because on the day by day there are several thoughts that come to your mind where you're actually judging yourself or others. And when I did this exercise during meditation, I was able to observe when it happened in my daily life, and then I could start acting on it, trying to change the way I thought about myself and about others. Because as I said in the other video before, our thoughts create our mind around us, and the way we judge ourselves can impact hugely on the way we show ourselves, on the way we express in what we have to share. And the way we judge others, well, tell more about how we're dealing with ourselves than on what actually the other is doing. But anyhow, it changes the way you relate to everybody around you. And the third technique that I want to share with you is just to drop a question and let it go before you do your meditation of observing your thoughts. That technique, it's really great when you're trying to decide about something or understand more what you're going through. And I want to share with you an example when I used that in my life that for me it was really great. So since I was 18, I wanted to do a tattoo, and the idea of what I should do changed a little bit, not much, during time, but I never got the courage to do it. When I started doing some transformations in my life, connecting more to what I wanted to do and letting go of my expectations and fear of not pleasing others and such, I really decided to do my tattoo. And I had this idea of what I wanted to do. I'm a kind of very cliche person, so I got a very nice cliche idea. And well, on the week that I was about to get it done finally, I felt a kind of need to talk to my friends and to share with others what the tattoo meant for me. So I called my friends, I talked to my psychologist, and I explained all the meanings that that tattoo had for me and such, and they said, great, it really sounds like you and such. Sounded like a very well thought and idea that looked like me. So they all said, yeah, nice, go for it and such. And even after I talked to my psychologist and she said the same, and I still felt this need to talk to more people, and I was trying to understand why I was still not at ease with it. Because if it was really what I wanted to do, I would just know it and go for it, because that's how I usually do things. So I tried to understand where did this not resting feeling came from. And I decided to, before doing my meditation, ask to myself, what do you really want to tattoo? It's important when you think about the question before you do the meditation that you ask as you, what do you want to do, instead of what do I want to do? Because if you put the I, the ego takes care of it, and then, well, you might not get to the most effective result. So just try to do like, what do you want to do about it? And so I did. So I put up the question, closed my eyes, seated nicely, and was just observing my thoughts for like 10 minutes, I think, at the time. And somewhere in the middle of this meditation, it came an image, a very beautiful, bright, colorful image of a woman with wings and a dress floating above clouds in the sunrise. And it was such a powerful, beautiful image for me in that moment. And it was so amazing that that image came to my mind that I felt this excitement and happiness for just, wow, I got it. And it was super fun. And I can imagine that if someone was watching from the outside, it would be super funny, because I was just seated like this, and then suddenly I was just, whoa! Yes, I got it, that's it. So in that moment, I knew that was the tattoo that I wanted to do. And from there, I tried to understand what were the meanings of it and how did it connect it to my life and how did I wanted it to actually look. And yeah, that's how we got to my tattoo. So these are the 3 techniques that I wanted to share with you today. Please write on the comments if you try them, what works out. If you have any doubts, I'll be happy to answer.